Whoa, look out.
Yeah, this breaker was sparking pretty bad. I'm going to show you guys how I repaired this sparking main breaker to get him temporary power until we can replace it. Right here you see me pulling out the long retaining screws that hold this main breaker in. And here's a little bit of a closer look at that melted down bus, bolt, and breaker. The next step is unbolting the breaker from the bus bar itself, and I went for the easy one first. The hard one was a little bit more tricky, but I ended up getting it out. Look at how scorched it is. And now that we got the breaker out, we can get a little bit better of an idea of the damage itself. Not as bad as it could have been. And I just used my drill mounted wire brush. It's pretty nice because I can get into little spots and polish things up quite nicely. I polished it up to the point where I think it'll make a good connection. But the nut is pretty stripped out. And you can see this one goes on nice and easy. So I'm going to run a tap through it to clean up the threads because I didn't have the correct nut, and you got to work with what you got, and the customer needs power. And if you look closely, you can see all the shavings falling out, which means that was burned up and they're pretty good. Not bad, it looks okay, and it threads on even better. The next step is clean up the breaker pretty good and reassembly. Believe it or not, I actually brought a breaker with me that would have made this situation a whole lot easier if it was the right one. But with the cover on and the customer's flip phone blurry image, I ended up bringing the wrong one. As you can see, I'm torquing down the main breaker bolts, and I believe it was 250 inch-pounds. Luckily, I was able to torque it down the whole way, or else I would have had to come up with a whole different solution. Now that it's bolted down and the main breaker retaining screws are back in, it's time to put it under the biggest load I can put it under and see if it heats up at all. I turned on as many things as I could. The dryer, the oven, turned on the hot water to get the hot water heater going, and we got it up to about 100 amps. As you can see, it's about 90 degrees, and that's mainly because I was fiddling with it and my hand warmed it up. And here's the breaker I thought it was. Pretty close, but no cigar. After watching it for a while, it went down to about 89 degrees, but I'll make a full video of the replacement coming soon.